What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. We're officially ready to rock and roll for our weekly picks, predictions, talking about the betting lines and all that good stuff. So, first game we got here for the Sunday slate are the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. So, this game I was debating on if I should. This was a bold and tough decision by me. So, the Chiefs, they've been playing good football, man. I mean, they find ways to win in the biggest moments. They find ways. They just find ways to win. You got Patrick Mahomes. You have Steve Spagnuolo, who gets that defense ready every single week. We know they have talent up and down the entire roster. They're a perennial Super Bowl contender for a reason. Great head coach, always in the all players. Everyone's always in the right spot to win and compete. And then when you have Patrick Mahomes, it just puts the cherry on top, and it's a very difficult team to beat. But this is a divisional game, and it's in Kansas City, so the Chiefs are favored by 7.5. Even if the Chiefs do win, I do not think they're gonna win by more than 7 points. I don't see it. I think this is gonna be a closer game than what people are expecting, than what ESPN odd makers have here. I'm taking the Broncos in the upset here. It may be wild. We just saw how poorly the Broncos played versus the Ravens, but I think this is a good old-fashioned divisional rivalry upset. I think it's going to be a good game. The Broncos can run the football. They're going to pass the ball just enough. They're going to get it going just enough. Their passing defense is going to make that extra play. The Chiefs can't really run the football too well. Broncos, they're not great at stopping the run. I don't think they're as good as they have looked, to be honest with you. But I do think they're going to be able to stop the run this game, and I think that they're going to find a way to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs, the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, and bring them to their first loss this season. Bring the Kansas City Chiefs down to 8-1, and they're no more undefeated teams after Week 10. In a 2024 NFL season. Give me the Denver Broncos. Give me Bo Nix to conduct that game-winning drive against Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be this is very bold. I'm not 100% confident in this, but I'm just going bold. It's one of those games where I'm like, divisional game, Chiefs are undefeated, prime time, prime example. It's a great time for the Broncos to step up and kind of have a better start to this game than they did the last game. Really struggled against the Ravens last week. That's not why I'm saying the run defense is not good. I really don't think their run defense is anything is anything special regardless. I think it's all right, but anyone's gonna struggle against the Ravens run game. Yes. But yeah, give me the Broncos, man. I think they're gonna make that extra play. I think they're gonna find a way. Bo Nix is gonna find a way to just get it done in crunch time over Patrick Mahomes. And it's going to be one of those times, the Broncos are going from getting killed by the Ravens. Really good game to learn from. Come back the next week, you have another chance to knock off a really good football team, and at that, a division rival. So the Broncos, they're going to be excited, and I'm going to see the Chiefs have a bit of an off day, and it's a little too late for them to come back and win this football game. So give me Denver. I'm not confident. Like I said, it's an upset pick for a reason, but yeah, give me Denver 21-19. Even if KC does win, I don't expect them to win by more than 7. I just don't. So give me Denver, and yeah, give me Denver. Next up, you have the Panthers and the Giants. This game actually should have been first since it's in the beginning of the day. It's I believe in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, but. The Giants, let's talk about the Giants first. The Giants are a better team than what people give them credit for. And actually, the Panthers are not favored by 5. The Giants are favored by 5. The Giants are actually a solid football team. That is something that a lot of people aren't going to agree with. I think the Giants are, okay, maybe not solid, maybe not, but I think they're much better than what people give them credit for. They've played some tough teams. They've played some tough defenses. And last week, it felt like they got something clicking. So now this week, you get another opportunity. Daniel Jones looked incredible last week. He gets another opportunity to do the same thing, or at least continue to build some momentum as the season goes on. Now, do I think the Giants are great? No, but I think that the Giants should win this football game. They should win by more than 5. Would not shock me one bit. The Giants' defense is really good. They're going to get in the backfield. They're going to disrupt Bryce Young, and they're going to disrupt that Panthers offense. That's going to be more than enough. I don't even know. The 17 might be a little much. That Giants' defense is a little better than what a lot of people think. But the Giants, yeah, I'm pretty confident in this pick as well. So give me the Giants in Germany, 23-17, and to cover their spread. So there's my prediction for that game. The Commanders and the Steelers. I think this is a treat. This is going to be an awesome game. Two very well-coached teams. Two teams that are a little bit different. You know, the Commanders have a bit more of an explosive offense. They have an offense that we know we can count on. The Steelers, we'll see. The Steelers, they're a good football team. 6-3? Are they on top? I think they're on top of their division right now. If not, they were going into the bye week. They're currently they're not, but that's because they haven't played their game yet. The Ravens are. You want to get technical, the Ravens are on top right now, but Steelers win this, they will be on top once again. But I think the Commanders' offense is going to make that extra play, kind of similar to what I was saying to the Broncos and the Chiefs game. I think this is going to be a treat to watch. Like, I always talk about low-scoring games and the difference of low-scoring games between good and bad teams. I can see this being a phenomenal low-scoring game where a 20, 30-yard play is everything. That could be the difference in this game. And it's between two very well, fundamentally sound football teams. It's going to be an incredible game. It really is. And, the Steelers are coming off the bye. They're getting the extra rest. They've been playing well themselves. Najee Harris has looked good. They found some rhythm in the running game. But the Commanders, you have to be better talent, on paper than the Commanders than to beat them. They're not going to mess up. They're not going to create, they're not going to make, Jaden Daniels doesn't turn the ball over. But, the Steelers, you could argue that the Steelers are better on paper. TJ Watt, maybe the best player in football right now, could really get in there and disrupt the game. He could change the game on his own. He could get a forced fumble. He could get a sack. And those two lost drives right there, if the Commanders don't come back from that sack on that drive and eventually get that first down, unless it's on a third down or first down, you're really setting them behind the sticks. But, give me the Commanders. I think the Commanders have a little more firepower in offense. I think we could trust their offense a little more. Even though the Steelers are coming off the bye, it can kind of work, against them as well because the Commanders had a whole extra week to kind of just see what they did with Russell Wilson that 1 week. And, the tape isn't really out on Russell Wilson in this offense yet. So that could be, it is 1 week. I meant to say it is. So, will Russell Wilson continue to evolve? Will he be able to move past the fact that teams are going to start adjusting, now that there's a little bit of film out there, not much, but the teams are going to start adjusting and start game planning for Russell Wilson in this offense. That's something I'm going to keep an eye on over the next couple weeks. And for the Commanders to win by 3 points, if the Commanders win, whoever wins, I do think to win by 3 points. But this very well could be a 1 point game. So this is a toss-up if you want to bet on this or not. I would be pretty confident in the Commanders covering. I like the Commanders. I like their run game. They may struggle against the Steelers' defensive line. I think their offensive line may struggle a little bit. That's something I could definitely see happen. But, the coach and the way this team plays, they're going to adjust. They're going to adapt, get the ball out quick. Jaden Daniels won't make too many bad plays. And just the way this Commanders team has played, I trust them more than the Steelers. But this is going to be a treat. This is one of the games I can't wait to watch this weekend. Two really well-coached football teams. It's going to be a chess match. It's going to be a really fun game. So, but yeah, give me the Commanders 23-20 and give me the line for the Commanders as well. Give me the Commanders to cover. Next game. The Vikings and the Jaguars. And the Jaguars are given 6.5 points at home. So, yeah, Minnesota is traveling to Jacksonville, but I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference. Minnesota, very good football team. Kind of reeling as of late. They kind of just outlasted the Colts. I think they should have been able to beat the Colts, I think, much more convincingly than they did. They kind of just outlasted them, like I said. They're going to be able to get the run game going against the Jaguars show. All right, my bad. A little bit of a yawn. But the Vikings will be able to run the football here. This should be a get back on track game for the Vikings. Pound the football. stop the run themselves. They had a very good stop the run against Jonathan Taylor and the Colts last week. And, I think that the defense is just it's going to give Trevor Lawrence and Trevor Lawrence's weapons and receivers too many issues. Trevor Lawrence, he has struggled so far this season. On top of that, he has to go up against one of the more difficult defenses to read in the NFL. And I don't think Trevor Lawrence has great field vision on top of that. Sometimes when I'm watching games, he's just missing open guys or he's throwing very questionable passes in very questionable places. So just give me the Vikings. I think the Vikings, this is a pretty simple one, honestly. Vikings should be able to run the football, stop the run. Jaguars have to run the football to get things going. Unless Trevor Lawrence just has a good day, which could very well be the case. He just has a good day out of nowhere. That has happened. But that Jaguars defense is very bad. Could run them, could pass on them. And give me the Vikings to cover as well. They should absolutely win by a touchdown or more. They should. Although the game versus the Colts was much closer than I anticipated than it maybe should have. I can't really say anticipate because I thought the game was going to be close. I actually picked the Colts. So what am I saying? But, the Vikings should be able to take care of business in Jacksonville. Favored by 7. Give me the line for the Vikings. Give me the Vikings to cover. All right, next up on the Sunday slate are the Saints and the Falcons. So I actually debated picking the Saints this game. And, some of you guys watching this right now are just going to be like, what's this guy thinking? He has the Broncos beating the Chiefs. He has, all these other things going on. This guy's wacky. No, I'm not wacky. I'm just, divisional games are tough, man. And this is one of those divisional games you look at and it's like, it is a perfect trap game for the Falcons. I mean, the Saints are coming off of a loss versus the Panthers. They fired their head coach. A lot of times when teams hire or fire their former head coach, they typically just have a fire lit under the butt. The next week, Saints are on a big losing streak. They're, they need to win. And last time that the Saints played the Falcons, the Falcons should not have won that game. The Saints actually gave the game away. You had the muff punt. You threw the pick six. It was just a very unfortunate game where a lot of stupid mistakes were made by the Saints. And I think the Saints can win this game if they don't make those stupid mistakes. The Saints have the talent. They have talent. Don't get me wrong. The offense line has been struggling. They're injured. The injuries haven't been helping. Haven't really been helping them. But give me the Falcons. I'm not gonna bet on this game. Honestly, it might seem a little surprising, but the Falcons, they're disappointing at times. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even though you look at their resume, you look at their record, they're 6-3. Yeah. But they beat the Panthers. They beat the Bucks. That was a good one. But the Panthers, the Saints, you beat. You lost to the Chiefs. You barely beat the Eagles. You lost to the Steelers. I'm not sold on this Falcons team yet. I'm simply not. I'm not a fan of what I see from this offense. If the Falcons can get the vertical passing game going, they are fine. They're a fine football team. But they run the football really well. But they can't piggyback off of that onto a vertical passing game. They really struggle to complete passes and to get the passing game going beyond 5 yards. That's an issue. Kirk Cousins has not been as good as expected this year. Paid him a good amount of money. I want to see him be a little better than the way he has played. The Falcons can't run the football. Like I said, they can pound the ball. They have Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson. It could be that kind of a day. Those two running backs, 200-plus rushing yards, and maybe just a good enough day for Kirk Cousins to get by. Now, don't forget, Kirk Cousins is in a new system. It takes time, a long time for quarterbacks to really master and to master the system, to master the playbook, and then it's a whole nother story. Learning your players. Learning how your players play. That's crucial. That's a big part of it. And it's still early, in terms of that, in terms of a quarterback learning the offense, learning the players he has to work with, getting chemistry. I just don't feel like that's there yet. The Falcons, yeah, you have Drake London, Darnell Mooney, money with 2 O's. They have the weapons. Kyle Pitts, they have the weapons. That's not, and of course, Bijan and Tyler Algier coming out of the backfield. So they have the weapons. That's not the issue. The offensive line isn't the greatest. I feel like the offensive line isn't, too hot. Their defense, it's inconsistent. And don't forget a couple weeks ago, they really struggled versus the Seahawks. I mean, they beat the Cowboys, but the Cowboys were reeling, and that game was close. So the Cowboys kind of gave that game away. They, a fake punt. Why? It's just, I'm not sold on this Falcons team. That's the bottom line. I think I think they're pretenders at this point in the season. I think the Bucs. I still think that the Bucs, even though the Bucs are 4-5, I think the Bucs are the better team in the division. And even though the Falcons beat the Bucs, I genuinely think that the Bucs are the best team in the NFC or the NFC South. Falcons kind of going on a rant here on the Falcons, but that's just how I see the Falcons currently. And I think this game is going to be a lot closer than what people think. Don't be shocked if the Saints win this football game. It would not shock me one bit. But give me Atlanta. I'm going to take the team that's just been playing better. The Saints have been absolutely horrible, but I will not be shocked if the Saints pull this upside out. And when they do that, I want you to come back here and say, JDW, you were right. No, I'm kidding. I don't want you to do that, but it wouldn't shock me one bit. But we'll move on to the next one. That's enough. The Buccaneers and the Niners. So this is a game I was kind of going back and forth on a little bit. Like I was just saying, I like the Buccaneers. They are a good football team. Their defense has not been very good. That's kind of what has been holding them back. And the injuries on offense, there are a couple of things that have been holding the Bucs back. But, let's not ignore what they just did against the Chiefs. They brought the Chiefs to overtime. I really disagree with the call not to go for it, opting not to go for the 2-point conversion. Instead, you opt to go to overtime with Patrick Mahomes, 3-time Super Bowl winner. What is he, a 1 or 2-time MVP at this point? Or 3, maybe. I think it's a big mistake not going for 2 and just, I didn't like that. Why put the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands? I mean, those are the games he's built to win. Why would you go to overtime with Patrick Mahomes when you could end it right there, not going to overtime? You have it's a Monday Night Football game. Get out of there, and you got to play the Niners this week. So it's not getting any easier. But I mean, the Niners are starting to catch fire a little bit. I like what I'm seeing from the Niners. So I think that the Bucs, they're going to struggle a little bit this week and fall to 4-6. I still have high hopes for the Bucs this season, though. Their defense is what's going to kill them, I think, in this game. But I like the Bucs. It's just I can't trust them sometimes. They're inconsistent. And Baker Mayfield's awesome. I love Baker Mayfield, but the injuries on offense and defense, it just hasn't gone their way. And they're given 3 points. I say the Niners cover that, even though I don't have them covering here. I'll just try to put scores up and then talk about it. So the Niners, they should cover this game. I don't see why they shouldn't. They're coming off the bye week here with a little bit of extra rest, a little bit of extra time to game plan, sit back and watch your opponent play the Chiefs last week. So yeah, I think that gives what's that saying? Not thread the needle. It's gonna kind of point the needle more towards the Niners here in this game for me. So give me the Niners 2017. Should be able to run the football. They've been absolutely incredible at running the football. Bucs going to struggle a little bit to stop the run here. And I say Purdy has a good game. Kittle has a nice game. Give me the Niners, man. Give me the Niners 2017. Next up, Bills and Colts. Okay, I had this wrong. Let me fix this really quick because this is wrong. Okay, after a little mishap, a little big mistake actually. Next up is the Bills and Colts, and if you guys aren't new around here, I'm a Colts fan, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the team currently. I'm not a fan of Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco is the only option considering what Anthony Richardson pulled. I don't like how he tapped out of the game. That's just unacceptable. I've talked about it many times. Not gonna get into it, but Colts at home. That's about the only thing you could say for them in this game. I mean, their defense played good against Minnesota last week. I will say I was impressed by the defense, but this week you're playing a legitimate, proven Josh Allen, and you're going against a plethora of weapons. The Bills can run the football with Allen and Cook, and I think the Colts, the Bills are just in for a field day. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because the Bills, I really think the Bills are just going to smoke the Colts. I don't think it's going to be close. Now, there is one other thing I can say that the Colts maybe have going for them in this game. The Bills' rushing defense has been kind of the weak spot of their defense. That's kind of where teams can attack, and the Colts can run the football with Jonathan Taylor. Now, it's not as good when you don't have Anthony Richardson there. No, of course not. Anthony Richardson really helps open up some lanes and forces defense to be honest with who's going to get the football. When you have Joe Flacco in there, it's kind of obvious. It's going to be JT or nothing. and it hurts. It makes it that much more difficult to run the football. But JT, he could create. He's really good at creating. He's one of the best in the league at creating. He's just a really good back all around. We all know it. We love JT. He's very good. But the Bills, I think this is gonna be one of those games that they're gonna be fine. I mean, they're not gonna be too worried about Joe Flacco passing the football because he overthrows a lot. He's in the twilight of his career, man. He's old. He can't move. So not really too much. But the Colts offense line is one of the best in the NFL. I will say it is the best in the NFL. It's one of the best, if not the best. So the Colts can probably get the running game going, and they're at home. Those are probably the only things the Colts have going for them in this game. I mean, the Bills are good at limiting big plays. It's kind of what Joe Flacco and Alec Pierce, that's been, kind of their bread and butter there. Not going to work in this game. The Bills aren't going to be fooled. The Bills play the Dolphins twice a year. They're not going to, they're going to know what to do. They're not going to, they're not going to sleep on Alec Pierce or no. So yeah, give me Buffalo 41-20. The line, I know this may seem like a huge gap, but in a lot of points, for a score prediction, but it wouldn't shock me one bit if the Bills hit a 50 bomb in this game. If there's a game where you can predict a 50 bomb, it is this one from the Buffalo Bills and the Indianapolis Colts defense. Like, Indianapolis Colts defense has been overachieving. They have been playing a lot better than what they are on paper. And Gus Bradley, now you're going up against a legit quarterback that can make legit reads. And I'm not talking bad on Darnold. Darnold has looked really good so far this year, but kind of questioning him now as of late. I am, anyways. But you look at Josh Allen; he's just in a different world, right? Josh Allen's in a different world. I mean, that's it. Yeah, I just knocked over my ring light, so that's why I'm kind of distracted right now. But back to it. I mean, the line. Let's talk about the line for a few seconds. I don't understand this line. I don't know why the Colts are only given 4 points. I don't know why the Bills are only favored by 4 points. The Bills should win by 10 plus, 10, 13 plus in this game pretty easily if the Bills play the way they're supposed to. They play the way they have been playing. But the Colts have given the Bills issues at times. It's been one of those teams that the Colts have been oddly good against. It's really weird. The Colts have been oddly good against the Bills and the Chiefs, but everyone else is just a toss-up. It's really weird. Really, really weird. I don't think the Colts have lost to Patrick Mahomes yet in the regular season. Postseason, yeah, they lost to him with Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck's last game in the league. But here, give me Buffalo. I'm not going to overthink it. The past is in the past. Give me Buffalo 41-20 and a cover by a mile. Buffalo beating the Colts in Indianapolis, embarrassing the Colts in Indianapolis. All right, next up, we got the Bears and the Patriots. So the Bears defense will come back this week. They will, they will bounce back. That's what I was looking for. The bounce back, not come back. They will bounce back this week. This Bears defense is pretty good against bad defenses, and they've played a lot of bad defenses, and that's why their defensive numbers actually look better than what their defense really is. Don't get me wrong. I do think the Bears have a good defense, but it has struggled against better football teams. It has struggled against more high-powered offenses, and now on the stretch here, we're really gonna see how that defense is tested, and if they can if they can adapt and evolve and get better against these better teams. Now they have a game behind the belt against a bad one, or against a couple of good offenses. Let's see, but this week, you're playing a pretty bad offense once again. Now it's been better under Drake May. By no means is it great or is it, out of this world much better. No. But it is better. But it's not going to be enough in this game. I mean, like I said, this Bears defense will take advantage and expose bad offenses. Drake May can't do it all by himself. The Patriots can't even get the run game going, not even against some bad run defenses. So, I don't think this one is too much of a difficult one for me. But the line, I think that the line is a little outrageous, almost a touchdown. I'm not putting money on the Bears on this. No, I put money on the no. I would not. That is a big line. I would stay away from that. I don't see the Bears winning by 6 or more. I see it being a 3-4 point game. 6 is pushing it. Unless their defense plays really good and their offense clicks and they but I don't see it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Caleb Williams. He's had a couple of good weeks and nice flashes, but I'm not sold, and I don't think he has a great week against the Patriots here. Then you have the Titans and traveling to to I almost had Las Vegas, Los Angeles. The Chargers, as we talked about the Commanders earlier, I think the Chargers are a bit similar to the Commanders, but I think they're a better version of the Commanders. I think their quarterback is proven. There's no thinking. Herbert's proven. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's top 6, top 7. Maybe you could throw him in the top 5, but I don't know about that. But Herbert, he is an awesome quarterback. He is very, very, very good. And the Titans, yeah, they're one of the worst teams in the league. They're not very good. That's just all I got for you. I mean, the offense is the offense. You have Mason Rudolph. Tony Pollard is a good running back. I mean, he can be explosive. He's not great. He's no Derrick Henry, and Calvin Ridley will give you a couple big plays a game. But I mean, that's really it, man. And you're going, and the Titans are traveling across the country basically, and they're playing one of the more fundamentally sound teams. This is, coaching really matters. When you have a coach that goes out there and get your best players playing like they're best players and not underachieving and not underperforming every single game. The Chargers are so fundamentally sound. The offensive line is playing better. Derwin James is finally playing as good as as he was in the beginning of his career. It's just everyone's on the same page. It's such a cohesive team that it's going to be difficult for the Titans to really get anything going. The Chargers defense is actually number 1 in scoring defense, I believe. Like, they have a really good defense. I think top 5 ranked in general. So yeah, give me the Chargers 27-16, and I am confident. I'm very confident that they can cover that spread versus the Titans. 8 points is a lot, but the Chargers are that much better of a football team. They're going to get the run game going. Justin Herbert is going to be able to throw the football fine. And I say Tennessee at 16 because I say they score a garbage time touchdown when the game is already over. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they score one early and say, hey, we're here, we're in the game, and the Chargers pull away, and then at the end of the game, Chargers, sub their guys out or send the game. It's whatever. The Titans score a touchdown. But yeah, give me Chargers 27-16 and that line. All right, next up are the Cowboys and the Eagles. I have this one wrong by accident as well. Give me 1 second. All right, so I apologize about that. I don't know what I was doing with the graphics. Just messed up the graphics again. Just gotta get on par. Gotta get better. Gotta pay attention more. But good old NFC East, good old fashioned NFC East divisional battle here. Cowboys, Eagles, nothing like it. If Dak Prescott was playing this game, I would be thinking about this game a lot differently. I would actually probably be taking the Cowboys to upset the Eagles. I still think the Eagles would be favored. And the Eagles. Thing is, the Cowboys have one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL, and the Eagles, so to happen, one of the better ones with Hurts and Barkley, it's going to be a long day for that Cowboys running defense, and that's my main point for this game. Cowboys run defense isn't very good. Cooper Rush probably not going to get much going themselves. If it was Dak, like I said, it may be a little different. I'm probably maybe will take back. I'm not going to pick the Cowboys because now I'm thinking about it more. It's just it's just a little too obvious how good that Eagles run game is with Saquon Barkley, and then you have to deal with that Cowboys defense is just it's one of the worst in the NFL versus their run. So the Eagles and Saquon Barkley should have a day. They're gonna have a day. They're gonna be fine. Hurts, does he have an ankle injury? Sirianni maybe messed up in the presser. I don't know. Either way, Hurts hasn't been great. You don't want the game to go through Hurts. You want the game to go through Barkley. And if the Eagles can run 30-plus times in a game, and, Hurts, don't let him throw more than 20, 25 times in the game. Don't let him throw 25. I think the key number is 25. I think once you get to 25, it's kind of like, yes, you don't want him throwing that many times. Because Hurts, he just doesn't have the ability to take over games in that way. Too many turnovers, fumbles. You don't want Hurts trying to be Superman. He's just not the guy you want doing that. No, absolutely not. He's best when he's running his football. He's best when he can piggyback after the running game, and that's going to be no issue in this game. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, basically fully healthy. The Cowboys are quite the opposite. So give me Philadelphia 27-18. Don't think it'll really be that close, and maybe even as close as I have this score. Give me the Eagles with that line too. I can see the Eagles covering pretty easily. All right, the Jets and the Cardinals. I think this may be one of the more difficult games to call. Maybe not. I think this is an easy one to overthink. I was overthinking a little bit. I was very tempted to take the Jets, but I just can't. The way their run defense has played, their defense has been vulnerable in general, and the way the Cardinals are playing, they're playing pretty good on both sides of the football. They're getting better every single week. Their defense is playing better. Their offensive line is playing really well. And of course, James Conner and Kyler Murray, they run the ball like crazy. They run the ball at such a high level. The Jets are going to struggle to stop the run in this game. And the Jets, their offense is sloppy. They can't really get a rhythm going. So, and their offensive line still figuring that out. The Cardinals are going to get a lot of pressure. And the Jets can't really get the run game going themselves. So the Cardinals are going to be able to control their clock and control the game. Cardinals defense, we'll see what Cardinals team we get. Are we going to get one of those weird Cardinals teams from the beginning of the year where we're just playing like crap? They're playing weird. They're not playing good. Or are we going to get, a decent, if you get a half decent Cardinals team, they should have no problem with the Jets. But I am comfortable, and I do think that they cover that line because they're going to run the football. They should be able to score. They shouldn't have too many problems scoring, and their defense shouldn't have too much of an issue with that Jets offense. We'll see what Cardinals defense shows up and what Cardinals offense shows up. That's a big thing. You never know what you're going to get from the Cardinals. I can see this beating game where it's like, wow, the Jets just blew up the Cardinals. No one expected that. But at the same time, it's like, okay, the Cardinals have one of those bad games. They're inconsistent. We know that, some weeks are very good, some weeks are very bad. What Cardinals team are we going to get? What Jets team are we going to get? Is Aaron Rodgers going to get a little bit of help? I still think Aaron Rodgers is one of the better quarterbacks. I really do. Yeah, he's not what he once was, but, he's not really getting too much help. Offensive line is poor, weapons, and, his skill position guys haven't really helped him out. No one has helped him out. The defense hasn't been there, and it is what it is, so... give me Arizona, though. Give me Arizona 22-20. I am comfortable in them covering the spread, even though I have them by barely covering the spread here. But they should cover it with ease. They shouldn't have too much of an issue with it. So give me Arizona 22-20 over the New York Football Jets. All right, this would be a treat. Once again, a line that I am very comfortable with is the Lions covering the 4-point spread. I think that this 4-point spread is too small. Texans, look. They're getting Nico Collins back, and C.J. Stroud in this Texans offense is a different animal with Nico Collins, but you're quite literally playing a different animal in the Detroit Lions. No one, we saw they speed up the pack. They beat up the Packers really well. They came better equipped to that game. They smoked the Titans. I don't see the Lions having too much of an issue this Sunday Night Football. I could see this Sunday Night Football game being a blowout. Genuinely could. The Texans are a good football team, man, but the Lions, they're a super team. That is what I like to call a super team. They're built right from the ground up. They're really well coached. And I'm not saying the Texans aren't any of these things. I'm not saying they're not well coached and not good. The Texans are a pretty good football team. But their offensive line, let's talk about their offensive line. That's going to give them a lot of struggles this past. I don't know why I keep trying to say this past weekend. But this upcoming week, that Texans offensive line has been horrible. It's been putrid. It's been garbage. And now you're going up against that Lions defensive line. Yeah, Stroud is going to have a long day. And, the Lions are going to know that the Texans are just going to try and get the ball out quick because that's all they can do for how bad the offensive line is. Lions going to pound the football. And the way Jared Goff has played, he is MVP right now. He is MVP. The last 4 games, he has like a 140-some passer rating. 83% completion percentage. He's playing out of his mind. Jared Goff is playing like the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And, it will continue this weekend. I'm being very generous, the score I'm giving here. I'm just saying maybe it's going to be a little closer because it's a Sunday night football game. And let's say the Texans maybe, the Lions aren't at their best and the Texans are trying to take advantage. But at the end of the day, the Lions win and they take it away when it matters most. Give me Detroit 27-20. Wouldn't shock me if Detroit posts another 50 bomb. The Lions are that good of a football team. As I've been saying for most of the year, there is not a single team in the NFL that can hang with the Lions for 4 whole quarters. The Chiefs can't. The Bills can't. I don't remember who beat them. What was it? The Rams who beat them? Fine. It might. No. I think they beat the Rams in week 1, actually. I don't remember who they lost to then. I think it was the Bucs they lost to. But that was just a bad game. The Lions are one of the better teams in the NFL. They are Super Bowl favorites right now. I don't think there's another team in the NFC that can really compete with them. I mean, the Packers, you could say, as we talked about earlier, I'm not high on the Falcons. Give me Detroit, man. They're going to kill the Texans. I think they're going to kill them. I don't think it's going to be too close. Prime time, they're going to live for these kind of games. So prime times get their opportunities. This is when these guys were a little extra fired up on national television for their head coach. And there is not a single thing I can say about this Lions team. There's not a single bad thing I can say about them. They are incredible. This is a super team. Not even just on talent, but the chemistry and the love that they have for each other. This locker room, this team was built the right way. And they're so fundamentally sound. I could go on all day about the Lions, man. They are incredible. I love the Lions, and they will win this football game. And they will win it comfortably. But maybe the Texans keep it close like you talked about. All right, last but not least, our Monday night football game, the Rams at home taking on the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins traveling across the country. Big time difference here. Give me Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Look, this is going to be a good game. This is a fun game, but the Lions are a little more complete right now. The Rams are a little more complete in my opinion. I mean, you look at their offensive line, you look at their defense. It's all a little better, and I love Matthew Stafford. He's great as well. Great weapons, Puka and Cooper Kupp, but in Kyler Williams, they can run the football really well. They're both very similar football teams. I just think that the Rams have the edge, and the defense and offensive line. And I think the Rams are going to be able to control the game a little better. Now, they may struggle on defense. I can see this being a game where the Dolphins just come out firing and the Rams can keep up. And, the difference in this game could be, Matthew Stafford's, stupid, questionable, a really aggressive throw from Matthew Stafford. He throws an interception or two. I don't think you could afford to throw an interception or two in this game. That's what will kill you. The key is if the Dolphins get 2 interceptions, I say they win. If the Dolphins can find a way to get two turnovers, I think they win. I think that offense is going to find a way to score points. They just had a really good week against a really darn good Bills team. For like, what was it? The second week, the two was back. This is gonna be a third week. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle getting back into it. So wouldn't shock me one bit. The Dolphins win this one, but I'm taking the Rams because I think they're a little more complete. And give me the Rams to cover. I'm confident that they can cover as well. So that is all we got for this weekend. So thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. It was a good time. Last but not least, thank you to our members. Thank you, Marshman Gunner. Thank you, Red the Rat, the JDW crew. I appreciate you guys being members. You're automatically entered into any giveaways that happen. So hey, if you're not paying attention or something's going on, you're like, hey, you're busy, and you're still going to be in the giveaway no matter what. It's a great way to support the channel. You don't have to. I don't typically ask for it. I'm not asking for it. I'm just thanking the members that we do currently have. Thank you, Marshman Gunner. Thank you, Red the Rat, for being supporters, for being Patreons, basically. Appreciate you guys. These I can talk. These two have been there basically since the very beginning. So I'm happy to have them as viewers or loyal. Always been around, and I appreciate you guys big time. So thank you, Red. Thank you, Marsh. But remember, do not feel like you have to become a member. You're not going to be treated any differently if you don't. It's not an obligation. Really, just watching is all I can ever ask for. I really appreciate you just watching and enjoying the video. You don't even have to say anything. You don't have to comment. If you enjoyed this video, that is what matters to me. If you learned something, you enjoy this video, that is what matters to me. That's my goal. So yeah, become a member if you would like. Don't feel like you have to. You're not treated any differently if you don't. But if you do, really, the money goes right back into the show. You know what I mean? It goes right back into paying for like Restream or, some kind of software, Photoshop, that kind of stuff. So don't think, your money's going to waste on just taking it. No, that's not how we do things around here. We put it all back in. We want this thing to be great. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And I will catch you guys next time. JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.